Hello, this is Free Enterprise. I'm Dijon Ketchup, and I'm joined by.
Um, uh, Gosh, I don't know, something about legs?
Some, I'm
I'm
joined
Leggy
by.
Starscream.
I'm joined by Porum, and yeah, this is week 2 of the Swiss rounds for the Lali-Ho League, and we are gonna see Tybalt and frankiebones go head-to-head, mano a mano. Other words that mean the same thing. I couldn't think of a third. Rule of threes, y'all.
1v1 IRL, let's go.
Fight me at PAX.
Yeah, and we've got an interesting start to the seed. I'm pretty sure that's Porum. I will be honest, I cannot tell the twins apart on the starting screen.
It's the shoulder pads are bigger on Porum.
Got it. So, are those the big or the small shoulder pads?
Those are the big ones. That's a Porum. That's a leggy.
Okay, so we've got a Porum start, and we know that somewhere lurking in the depths of the seed, there is a foo.
Wait, wasn't Porum last month?
I don't know. I am very a-religious.
So anyway, you might be familiar with the objectives we've got here. 3 of them are static throughout this entire flag set for this round. Complete Cave Magnus, Forge the X-Cow, and Trade the Pink Tail. And then the last 2 are randomized between defeating bosses and getting characters. So, you gotta put on your looking goggles. That's a phrase people use, right? Alright, yeah.
Yep.
And,
Or, wait, no, it's the looking glasses, like Alice wears.
I'm Allison. I wear glasses.
Yeah, the looking glasses.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Still no objective for finding mallets in a shop, though.
Yeah, but this is going to be an interesting start depending on who that second character is. Like, if we get... Well, we'll see who it is soon enough. Out.
Oh, that's a Rosa.
Yeah, and
some flavor of guard.
Is Baigen the? It could be Baigen.
Baigen's red.
Okay, Baigen is the red one. It's always one of those little things that trips me up. But as chat is pointing out, we've got the double white mage start.
And a white spear.
Look, I'm Smapety in chat going, alright, one of you is going to have to switch to Scholar. I'm pretty sure one of them will switch to Archer.
We can probably ping Scholar. She's probably nearby.
Look. As a Scholar main, all I have to say is that Rydia is the best example of a Scholar in FF4 because of the self-summon.
Well, both our runners immediately land in Baron and then go in separate directions and then go the other way.
Yeah. So we've got...
Tybalt and Frankie immediately selling some of their rune rings. You get 10 of those to start with. You don't need 10 of them, so you can sell most of those.
Interestingly, though, you know how we have that white spear? Both of our runners are probably going to be making googly eyes at that cane having lunch with an octopus.
So, calamari is on the menu?
Definitely a little bit. They'll probably want to get a little bit more strength, a little more loot. Probably grab the Hobbs character before taking on the Baradin, because that second spot can be nasty. Tybalt giving us a check of the Mist Cave finds the Dark Elf, which is not useful.
Yep, not on the objective, nothing you can get for defeating it.
Yeah, while frankiebones is giving us a solid loot of Watery Pass. I was paying too much attention to the boss. I haven't seen anything super hype outside of the Drain Spear that chat's pointing out.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything. Tybalt going into Mount Hobbs, we're gonna see who's here to fight and who's here to rescue.
Yeah, a fairly common play, especially with the lack of free characters on.
That's an Edward and a Lunar Sparkle.
That's a plague. So that's honestly relatively free.
Yeah.
Eddie's coming out with a bow. I don't.
Great job. That is a great start, Eddie.
Yeah, I don't think either of our runners have really gone into the equipment menus yet. So not 100% sure what everyone's wielding outside of the fact that Rosa did have the aim command up, so she is equipped with a bow and arrow.
So not so much a free fight when none of your characters can actually land a shot.
Yeah.
Frankie finding Waterfall Cave has either a leg or an element. He reset before it showed.
Yeah, which, on the one hand, I understand you have it down to 2 bosses and you want to save that little extra time. On the other hand, I personally like catching it out to see which one it is, just in case I run into another one later.
There was also a Levia summon in the back of Watery Pass, so an early Rydia could pay off for Frankie.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's Val.
Yeah, which will be a lot nicer, hypothetically, if you have that cane. Though I don't think she has much in the way of her... Well, she's got the magic defense here.
Yeah, that Gaia drum not helping much for Tybalt.
Yeah. Unfortunately, coming out a little late. But Rose's aim command will allow her to hit Val even while we're doing a spin to win.
You are watching Free Enterprise. It's the Final Fantasy IV randomizer. And this is the Lali-Ho tournament.
So yeah, Tybalt bouncing off a couple of locations so far. Is going into the back of Castle Damsian to look for more loot.
Yeah, Frankie did the same thing just a couple moments ago. There's a couple interesting things here. The elixir, for sure.
Yeah, those charm arrows are going to be a nice attack upgrade, for sure.
Stardust.
Yeah, that Stardust Rod's going to be great as soon as we fight a Black Mage.
Well, we know there's a Fusoya somewhere.
Yep. But I think frankiebones made the right call of going through, and we start with a free wizard robe, hat, and of course that stack of rune rings, all of which are things our current party can wear, most of which increase their magical stats, but any bit of armor is going to help you defensively than not.
Oh, Frankie found a coffin. I don't remember seeing Tybalt getting that chest.
I don't think so, but both of them did get the ribbon down in here.
Yeah, the ribbon can be pretty good for your white mages at this stage in the game.
Yeah, Tybalt popping into Fabul, buying some poison arrows. Really going for that full Elemental Arrow suite. Finds actually a really stacked shop with that self-summon, the Thor Rages, the Mute Bells, and some stuff that I did not have enough time to read. Yeah, that was a veritable buffet of options in the Fabul item shop today. Oh, hey, we've got Dark Knight Cecil down here attacking Fabul. Seems to have rejoined Baron in their quest for world domination. And luckily, the best way to get through Dark Knight Cecil is to just heal up. Though, oof.
Just barely missing that timing on that last cure potion.
Yeah. I'm not sure Tybalt has gone and equipped any of the armor he found, but
it's kind of a bold play, like because of the Neki flag, your characters all come equipped with like a low tier weapon, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and chat pointing out that once again, DKC is a set damage range rather than anything else. This time, definitely playing it a bit safer. Definitely is fast enough to get some of that healing. Oh, that third shot is too slow.
Yeah.
Lowers battle speed and goes back in. I like that play.
Yeah, that gives you more time to get that potion off. And frankiebones catching up to Tybalt and about to... Wow, we're going to see simultaneous Cecil. Yeah, Invinius in the chat saying, so who wants to do Miss K for a level? And yeah, sometimes with these early games, if you're not finding much and you got not the best character selection, sometimes you gotta do those optional bosses just to get a level to survive.
Yeah. Though I think Tybalt might have a chance here.
Yeah, it looks like Tybalt got the...
Yeah, they're... Both our runners getting the speech about justice at the same time.
Justice in stereo.
Yeah, but both of our runners getting a whole stack of levels up on Rosa. Huh.
Alright. Oh.
Ooh.
Speaking of Cecils, that's a... Now they're both hoping to find a Cecil somewhere.
Right?
And both going to loot the side tower before...
Yeah. So one of the interesting things about this flag set is based off of the fact that there are 10 unique characters in this flag set. We will see 2 of the 12 characters on the bench at the end of the day.
Well, we won't see them.
Yes. So...
Or more accurate.
Yeah. Cecil has reasonable odds of being in the seed, but also has reasonable odds of not being in the seed, especially because we already know 4 of the characters to appear. There are also 3 duplicates of characters who are in the pool in the seed. So...
Tybalt reset out of Vampire?
Yes. After wasting the Gaia drum.
Right.
Decided to
so it looks like our... Sorry, go ahead.
Reset, pivot, and go back in with a little bit of a stronger Rosa.
So, if I'm not mistaken, we've either got Underground Progression here at Baron Inn, like Frankiebones is doing, or over at Ordeals.
Well, we don't know what the Antlion Cave has. Well, it can't be the logical progression because it is Valvalis. However, there could be a second. This could also be a second way underground.
Yeah, in theory, like Magma Key could be behind Val and Hook behind one of those other two spots.
Yep. And of course, if one of them leads to, say, the Twin Harp or the Earth Crystal, we could get up to some shenanigans.
Oh, the Twin Harp, pretty much required. Oh,
Yeah,
here's
that's
another lunar
Pale
sparkle.
Dim.
Another lunar sparkle out of the pool is with the Pale Dim here.
And hits like a truck for the first hit and like a kitten for the second. So yeah, I think this fight is doable, but it's definitely spicy for Frankie.
Having the Gaia drum definitely a good. Well, Tybalt seems to have gotten through Val.
Yeah, Rosa with aim and a decent weapon will do that.
Ooh.
Get to Pink Tail. That's exciting.
Yep, not underground access, but half of requirement.
Yeah, and if our underground access is that hook, that'll give a reasonable piece of gear as well as that extra check on the box of objectives.
Yeah. Pink Tail, also our first key item on the board.
Which is wild. 13 minutes in. Yeah, Frankie is definitely trying to make some good headway on this Pale Dim, but unfortunately, this spot kind of strong.
Oh gosh, yeah, like Pale Dim, really hard to take on when all you've got is a white mage.
Mm-hmm. And like, given that the Pale Dim can hit up for, nearly a third of Rosa's health right now. So he's not. I assume he's not using aim because Rosa is in the middle slot. The way that aim works is it basically sets Rosa's accuracy to max, but being in the middle slot also gives you a bonus to accuracy, so your accuracy total underflows down to not exactly great.
We've got a Kainatsu at the first spot of the bridge in Ordeals. There were Thor Rages in the Fabul shop, so buying some of those would have been pretty nice to have here.
Yeah, though Kainazo's damage output is percentage based off his current HP, so if you can knock him down fast enough, he'll do a lot less with those waves. And Tybalt's already got the Kanazo's damage output down low enough that his party can tank it.
And Frankie is adamant about getting this Pale Dim down.
I will laugh if that's the item here.
Yeah. Underground access is behind that. Plus, I mean, having a cane with that starting white spear is nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, like, if this works out for Frankie, this could be huge in terms of just having a really strong melee fighter to get through some of the checks that Tybalt has at this point. And at this point, the more time Frankie spends getting through this,
Tybalt resetting out of Kanatsu and just leaving ordeals altogether.
I don't hate it, especially because unless he's forgotten where Thor rages are, coming back with a stack of them is probably a good call. Does stop off in Mysidia to check the weapon shop and the armor shop. Hey, do you think we need more rune rings?
Nah. They sell for a decent amount.
Find
Those
Cure
Cure 3s, those are good to know where they are.
Yeah, Cure 3s are guaranteed on the overworld if there aren't any white mages in the seed, and checks notes.
What's a white mage?
The at level 30 as a conjurer, you can undertake a quest to get the job stone that'll unlock the white mage job for you.
And another white spear that Tybalt just found. Like, I saw something white. Oh, it was white arrows? Okay.
Yeah. Star Veils are over here in Silvera, which is always something you just want to have in the back of your mind as a free enterprise player.
Yeah, Tybalt taking the tour to shopping.
Probably looking for lit arrows at this point, if I had to guess. But might also be checking item shops for things like illusions to help get through some of these physical spots. Or any weapon upgrade, as chat points out.
He didn't check the
Oh no!
the other item shop.
Frankie goes down.
Oh no.
Oh, that's tragic.
Gosh, that's...
Yeah, checking who can equip that mute knife.
Yeah, Frankie has to think he's, like, way behind at this point. Which, honestly, really not so much.
Yeah.
Because Tybalt bailed on the Kanatsu fight and is just going around checking all the shops. Which it looks like Frankie's starting to do now.
Yeah, at this point, Tybalt does have a little bit of an advantage on just shop checking in general. In terms of how many shops he's checked. However, the real advantage Tybalt has right now is having that antline fight out of the way, which is a few extra levels for the party.
Oh, and I see Frankie did buy a stack of Thor Rages, so if he goes to Ordeals, he'll be set on the Kanatsu fight.
Mm-hmm. And Tybalt flies back to Fabul, finds those Thor Rages, and there we go.
Yeah, and Frankie did buy a stack of bombs, so I'm guessing his strategy is to go back and use a lot of these J items to cause damages to the Pale Dim. Oh, but first he is gonna go to Ordeals. Yeah, Pale Dim does resist all elements, but resisted damage, yeah, it's not great either, so.
Sadly, it is will, not wisdom, that governs the white magic casting. Because if it was the other way, I would ask if Frankie was going to be using those bombs wisely.
I mean, you know what they say, where there's a will, there's a wisdom.
Do they say that, though?
I said it just now.
Are you they?
No, I'm she. You can see it on the screen when it rotates.
Anyway, both of our runners about to take on some Toitle.
Tonight they'll dine on turtle soup.
Unless they get washed away first.
Emily, I am home.
Frankie making decent use of that Stardust. So chat's asking about items. Item usage is not based on stats. Thor rages and Zeus rages will cast Lit 1 and Lit 2 respectively. Gaia drums will cast Quake, and these are all stat independent casts. However, there are some items that do percentage HP damage based off of your current HP. And the way you can tell, pointed out to me by Zoe Vermillion, is if they have the name of the element as part of the name. So Firebomb, Litbolt, and Blizzard are elementally named. The other ones are a little more less on the nose, but those are the ones that replicate the actual spellcasts.
Also, I believe Kamikaze is HP based.
Very much directly HP based. It does 100% of your current HP total to the target.
Yep.
And yourself.
Yep.
Tybalt already has Kainaza hiding in a shell.
Just need a soundboard with the clip of the Ninja Turtles saying "Shell Shock" from the arcade game.
But there's no edge here. There's no ninjas. What is the element?
Yeah, he's in the Technodrome, which is underground. They're gonna find edge underground. I'm calling it now.
Chat is saying that Kamikaze is Kaboom Elemental.
That sounds about right. The element of YOLO. Alright, Tybalt gets through Kainatsu first.
Yeah, definitely goes back and saves. Stops one tile short of the save point.
Yeah, that's the opposite of the glitch.
Yeah, is definitely not a trick that I recommend, and definitely something I've done way too many times.
I bet Tybalt's wishing he hadn't used that Gaia drum in the last fight.
Yeah, we've got the dancing dolls. I'll come back to you with the rest of the lyric.
They're in the shape of the tambourine.
Oh yeah. See that doll, sing that meme, given the dancing dolls.
Well, Frankie's got Kainatsu, well, had Kainatsu in the shell, but he recovered enough to come out and start gathering the... Oh, and now he's dead.
Huh. I wonder... I mean, the good news is that because Thor Rages are just straight up a Lit 1 cast, you can actually do a fair bit of damage to these dolls even with those.
Yeah. And Frankie also gonna wish he didn't just use that Gaia drum.
Right? Though Tybalt is down to 1-1 at this point.
That's when you really gotta be careful.
Yep. Thor Rage comes down. Okay, never mind. That doesn't do that much damage at all. Imagine lying to chat.
I only lie when I'm alone or with someone.
Well, I lie to myself all the time. Oh, and there's the big doll for Tybalt.
Oh, yeah. You hate to see it. And Frankie throwing those bombs out and finding they don't do a whole lot of damage either. And now, he's kind of, in a predicament as well.
Yep, there is the big doll for Frankie. Though he does seem interested in taking it.
Yeah. See if he can, may have a better chance taking, well, never mind, he reset because he got charmed.
Yep.
I was gonna say, you might have a better chance of taking down the big doll than trying to get the last dolls of each color down at the same time.
Yeah,
I think he's going back to Baronin now.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Especially with the extra experience from the Kanaza fight. The Baronin might prove a little more acceptable.
Also, hey, thanks, Hupfin, for the raid. Oh, where? Oh, Frankie's gonna go loot. Like, I think go loot and try and, I guess, maybe try and find that trap chest with the 3 Mad Ogres?
Maybe. I'm not sure what tools...
I think he's got mute arrows, right?
Oh, that's fair. But yeah, no, I think Dr. Cossack has the right of it. I think Frankie is, like, really rolling the bones on trying to get a heroine robe.
Did you just...
That said, that is a glass hat, which will definitely help with some of those punchiness. And Tybalt doing a great job of threading that needle.
You're not getting away from that pun that easily.
I'm going to plead the fifth.
This is the blue planet. They don't have the 5th. Frankie wants nothing to do with the Mad Ogre chest.
While on Tybalt's side, our Mount Ordeals check is... Yar! It be the hook!
Oh, and there's a wall. Not that they've been at a wall for like the past, I don't know, 20 minutes.
You know, I was wondering when the wall was going to show up.
At least this is, you know, a relatively decent spot to find it at. This, with the low HP and everything.
So anyway, on Frankie's side, the looting just paid off with that power shirt and silence staff.
Prayer unanswered.
Yeah, so that's going to be one objective on the scoreboard for Tybalt very soon.
Assuming he immediately goes to turn in the pink tail.
I can't imagine a universe where he doesn't, but I'm sure it exists somewhere.
I mean, you gotta think that there's not, like, quite as much high-level gear you can get from the pink tail that work on Porum and Rosa as, like, the other characters, but, you know, who knows?
Yeah, and mostly I'm just thinking about, like, in terms of just getting it out of the way.
There's a lot to be said for waiting to see if you get the rat tail or 3 other objectives first. But, like, if you've also got a fully, like a full team of 5, well, he's going to find it anyway. But having a full team of 5 would be a really good time to check it, because you have better odds of getting something you can use. But oh,
That's a Bahamut orb, which definitely means that Rydia is a higher priority than she was even with the Leviathan orb.
so of course she's not going to be in the seed until she's not useful anymore.
Oh, of course not. And now Tybalt is going to fly down and get yet another character.
I don't think Tybalt ever even attempted Bear It In.
I believe you are correct in that assessment. But yeah, no, even if Tybalt doesn't see this all the way through, there's a heroin robe. That's a big find.
At this point, it's looking like Attack Rosa.
Yep.
Oh, Silk Webs and, yeah. That's a pretty good shop.
Yeah.
Cave of Blana shop always has the goods.
Yeah, like, there's a number of characters Tybalt wants to see here. Like, obviously, Fu would put another tick on the scoreboard. Cecil would be incredible. Palameridia would be amazing. Tella, not so much.
Well, the free fight at the end. Am I right?
Yeah, that is a French vanilla King Queen Evelyn. And chat is pointing out that Tella is coming out of the gates with his full complement of spells. And you know how we have that Stardust Rod in our back pockets?
Yeah.
Tella could be our Black Mage for now.
Well, Frankie tried to take on the Plague to get, I guess, Edward to have someone else, and it didn't go well for him.
Yeah, Plague is definitely a bit of a tricky fight.
But hey, with Tella, at the very least, you have an anchor for later.
Yep.
Okay, now Tybalt's gonna try Baron in. He just wanted that extra character first.
Yeah, and again, you know, when you have a character check that's effectively free like that, because, you know, once you have the hook, it's just the time investment of walking in and picking up the old man.
Yeah, that virus is gonna take care of Octomom.
Yup. Virus is a very good spell. Oof. Tella getting immediately one-shot by the Pale Dim.
Yeah, that's something. Oof.
That said, Rosa is swinging for a lot. That was a hit for like 1,000.
Well, Frankie manages to take down the plague and gets himself a free character to go along with it.
Yep. Everyone's favorite Spoonabard.
And a firebomb. Not gonna loot the other chests, though. Probably with how much time he's spent so far. Not a bad idea to skip those other extra chests on the other side.
Yeah, this fight is probably going to go a lot better for Tybalt than it did from frankiebones. Just in terms of the sheer amount of extra damage that Rose is putting out right now.
Frankie making another attempt at ordeals. Can't say I blame him for that. He probably feels that he's got a better chance with the dolls than he does. Oh, darkness. You know what this means. Let's go, giant. And D-Machine grind, and then find what is probably like a Cecil at the end.
Yeah, like something that we haven't seen a lot in this tournament that we did in the last one is that dive into ordeals. I mean, into the giant and the D-Machine grind. Though Tybalt is pretty well set up for it, assuming he wants to take that party. The problem is, in this flag set, the giant has been altered on exactly one tile inside the dungeon. That tile, of course, being the exit back to the overworld from the front side. So if you go in, you are committed to fighting those last two bosses. Which, you know, if they're bosses you're looking for, or like D-Mist or something, that's great. If they're not, it does make the D-Machine grind a lot more time expensive.
Tybalt raising the whale. My guess, probably gonna go check that free lunar character, just to round out his party before going underground.
Yeah, getting that full party up and running is going to be really nice, because this could be a vanilla foo, this could be a Cecil for that crystal sword. There are a couple. Let's see who it is. Wrong old man.
Tella. So, there's one of our few dupe characters that are going to be in the seed.
Yup. Frankie had a blizzard that he's using to clean up these dolls. Oh, and at the last second, that's a big doll.
Yeah.
and a reset. Oh, that is super unfortunate.
Yeah, when you're low on AoE moves that can do a lot. Oh, there's Bacchus on the moon. If you're low on AoE attacks that can do a lot of damage, it can be hard to avoid Calcabrana.
Yeah. You really have to be careful. It is worth noting that the back dolls have significantly more HP than the front dolls do. In every spot, they have a much higher percentage of the pool. So one of the things you might want to consider is if your AoE isn't strong enough to just take out all the dolls at once, having some single target attacks go out to soften up the back row before throwing out that last AoE to wipe out everything.
Yeah, the individual dolls are interesting because, like, the front row has less health, but the back row doesn't have the boss bit.
Yeah, so effects like stop or insta-death spells will work on those back dolls. And that's definitely something to keep in the back of your mind as you are going through flag sets like these. And of course, Tybalt, empowered with the knowledge that King Queen Evelyn awaits at the end of the Cave Evelyn, is going back in there. And
gotta loot on the way there too.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one trap chest here, and it's quad Mad Ogre. So
the one in Cave Evelyn is the Staleman chest.
You're right. It's that one. The one in the thing itself is. I got them mixed up.
Yeah.
But, hey, both of them. You've got those hourglasses from that Cave of Blana shop. So that's some pretty decent XP if you run into it.
Yep. Frankie is on to the Evil Wall fight in the Mount Ordeal Shrine.
He does have Edward.
Which does mean Edward with that Assassin Dagger is doing a non-trivial amount of damage here.
Well, and also, there's if worse comes to worse, he can also do the hide strats. I'm pretty sure that the HP is low enough in the altar that you can do hide strats on the evil ball.
Yep. But regardless, the wall is down.
Frankie has finally passed the wall in more ways than one. Now's the question, is he gonna just go headlong into the underground, or is he gonna try and get that character that we know as Tella and go back to Baron Inn?
That's actually an interesting question. Depends how he's feeling after he sees that it's King Queen Evelyn. We're seeing a blue robe at the King Queen spot. Ooh. And
Water Hag. Double freebie to get underground. Wow.
All the way across the cave.
They had to make up for that overworld.
But wait, there's more. Order now and we'll throw in another free boss for free!
Or not free, because Tella keeps missing.
Yeah, that's Tella for you. The old man definitely needs slightly better glasses some days. But
that Water Hag actually taking, like, most of Tybalt's team out.
Yeah, Water Hag's punches are not to be trifled with.
Yeah, the Water Hag is a free boss, but, like, it's in some cases it's free in the way that Dark Knight Cecil is free.
Yep.
Like King and Queen Evelyn are gonna do significantly less damage.
Yeah,
than
especially
Water Hag.
because they're sitting here in the Vanilla Rubicante spot, and that Fire 2 is not going to do a lot
Yeah.
because the developers did not want Fire 2 doing a lot at this spot.
God, it's like the developers didn't even consider the randomizer.
Right? Shaking my SMH.
Yeah, like Water Hag, if it's at, like, Asura or even worse, Leviathan, yeah, no, that's not, like, free. But it's free. Like I said, it's free in the way that Dark Knight Cecil is free.
Yep.
Still getting
And-
some good levels.
Yeah, and both of our, well, if Frankie goes for it, both of our runners will probably be underground at about the 50-minute mark. Though I would not blame Frankie if he takes the old man and goes to finish off the rest of the overworld.
Yeah, but
both choices feel correct here.
But if Frankie goes to Hollywood, then you have to relax and don't do it.
Ooh, that's some really interesting info on Tybalt's stream. First of all, the chest right after you drop down is a curse ring. Second of all, we have a Dr. Antlion today.
Oh, I didn't know Antlion got his PhD. Good for him.
Yeah, about time.
But, yeah, Cursed Ring, definitely one of the more valuable pieces of equipment you can find, especially in the regular chests, because you can only find, I believe it's tier 1 through 6 equipment in the regular chests, and it's like trap chests that only have tier 7. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Cursed Ring, definitely one of the better equipment items you can find out of those chests.
And Tybalt wasting no time, gonna scramble an egg by, I guess, tenderizing the shell first? I don't know how this works.
I don't
I'm
think
not
that's
a
how
cook.
eggs work.
Frankie is popping out, probably going to go clear some of the checks from earlier. Flies immediately back up to Baron.
Nah.
Very reasonable call.
I mean, when you start with a white spear and they dangle a cane right in front of you, you get that cane.
Right? Gearing up the Tella. Have I never made an omelet? No. I have, however, made plenty of scrambles.
Siren's a dwarf and more star veils as well.
Ooh, that's a good one-stop shop.
Yeah. Was that a guard? I couldn't tell what that sprite was that jumped up.
We'll see it again soon enough.
Yeah.
Those are...
I think that's the Baron guards because there's 2 of them.
Yes.
Which is what we're looking for.
Yeah, which means the boss we saw at the very beginning was the officer-soldier fight.
Indeed. This is a good place to have Mute Bell. Tybalt seems to be looking for his, I guess. Or looking to see what he has.
Yeah, let's
sure.
throw at the hourglass as well.
Hourglass also works. And You equipped somebody with a mute dagger.
That would be Kane.
Ah. Silenced.
Yeah, it's a sacred crystal chamber. You don't want it's like library rules. You don't want people talking too loudly or being rowdy. Which I think at this point makes Kane a librarian.
Yeah, I feel like the requirement for being quiet in a library is like one of those myths that's just like perpetrated by television and movies, but isn't actually a thing. So I've been in some loud libraries.
It varies from library to library, but most of the ones I've been in do want a little bit of quiet.
Hey! Oh, trading one twin for another. Bye, Leggy.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
No twin powers activating.
Anyway, 4
So, is he gonna get the Bahamut before the countdown ends?
3 Frankie has cleared out the Baronin and gotten his darkness crystal, as well as his long-awaited cane. My guess for why take off the Stardust is to give it to Palom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Though I'm not 100% sure why Tybalt got rid of Porum and not Tella. But I have to assume he's got a strong play here, especially because Tella does have that current full complement of spells.
My guess would be because 2 white mages already, plus 2 Tellas.
Well, he's got 2 Tellas at the moment. He's keeping one alive, and that's a Dwarf Castle Pan.
And that's why you get your other checks out of the way underground before you go to Yang.
Right? So we'll be seeing soon enough what the finest in dwarven cookery has to offer rather rapidly.
And I think Frankie's gonna go to the moon and be disappointed in the free Tella that's there.
Right. I don't think Tybalt's made it down to the Feymarch yet.
I don't believe so. I think he went straight to Dwarf.
Yeah, so that is another check that is available for him. And we'll see what is there soon enough.
Well.
Anyway, we have a Sylph giving us a ninja hat for whacking a monk with a pan.
Frankie looking to stock up on some Bacchus wines.
Yeah, Tybalt going to give us the Feymarch check now.
Yeah, if you're in a point where you need to loot more, which Tybalt really isn't at that point, the path to the Feymarch is a good place to do it because there's only one trapped chest. Generally, you'll reset out of it because you'll be at 1 HP from walking through the path, but it's an easy reset. You know, you don't lose a whole lot of time.
And in the Feymarch chest, we find a Zeus glove, and we also find coffins for sale down here.
Zeus glove, while not a key item, not a bad thing to find. Kane could certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the best gloves for physical fighters. Full stop. Frankie about to find yet another old man, much to his eternal dismay.
So in that situation, there's Bai Yin and Yang in the Fame Arch bosses. If you're Frankie, do you turn down the Tella or replace Edward with it? With the second one?
Given that I've already got a Tella,
he's thinking about it.
He is thinking about it.
Because, like, latter half of the game, Edward is... Oh, okay, he keeps the Edward.
Yeah.
Edward is really only good as either an anchor or if you find the spoon. Which, none of these seeds have been close to 17 out of 17s so far in, like, 2 weeks. So...
Yeah, and of course, Edward's hide ability does allow for a certain amount of shenanigans and cheese.
Look, Sheep Launcher, I will face Asuka and walk backwards into the underground.
Down to, in fact, the Hades.
Exactly.
Ooh, Frankie gonna give us a look at the hairdryer chest.
Sheila has the rat tail and the Baron key, so Sheila's pretty loaded tonight.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's loaded with good things.
I mean, once Dijon's down there, I would definitely agree with you, Scala.
Wow. You know, you don't see a whole lot of people do the hairdryer chest.
Yeah, it's honestly, like, it's a little out of the way. But it is a fairly fast check. I don't hate it in this situation, especially where Frankie is looking for that little bit of an edge.
Well, he's not going to find one there. It's not a character spot.
Tybalt trades for a sand ruby.
Nobody has checked to see who's in the bed.
Yeah, that
Could be a Fusoya. Which means it's worth checking. Although when you have a party of, like, 2 Tellas, then it's still worth checking.
Flies over to Baron, looks to be dropping a save before flying up to Kaipo, which I like.
Reasonable.
If this turns out to be a bust, it will save a fair bit of time on the return trip. Oh.
Ooh. Well, remember that sword? So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Tella's getting dumped.
Oh, yeah. Every day of the week. Because, as we all know, Crystal Sword, go burr.
Indeed.
Yeah, Frankie doing a pretty good job of taking out these hair dryers, getting a few life glitches off on them as well, which
Yeah.
There is a whole explanation about how the glitch works, but fundamentally, if you use a life potion on an enemy that's dying, you get double XP.
Looking like Frankie, I guess, planning to use Porum as an anchor, and an Artemis bow, not a terrible thing to get from that chest.
Yeah, especially with using that Rosa as an archer.
Yeah.
Like, Herald Robe, Artemis bow, Rosa will slice and dice through a significant portion of the seed. Not nearly as significant as Crystal Sword Cecil, but, you know, a non-trivial portion nonetheless.
Rosa has gotten a taste for blood, and she likes it.
Yeah, Frankie Bones flying up and around, going back to do Antlion again. This should be a fairly straightforward fight with this party at this point.
Yeah, Officer Soldier is fairly trivial. I guess Frankie never finished off Val either.
Yeah, Frankie never made it back to Val, and I'm not sure whether or not it'll be a relief or a bit of frustration to see that this is the pigtail, because this will allow Frankie to get on the scoreboard objective-wise, which will be very nice.
Absolutely. Oh, and Tybalt goes for the officer first.
I don't hate it, especially because it takes this fight from fairly straightforward to extremely free.
Yeah, getting rid of the officer first, which he used the coffin to get rid of it. It goes to the boss helps you defeat the boss. Some flavor of Mylon.
Ah, it's the remix. But Mylon, being a zombie, has a weakness to holy element.
Yeah.
Which includes weapons such as, checks notes, Crystal Sword.
Yeah, Crystal Sword Cecil. And
We get another character check from Tybalt. That is Iridia, but I do believe
it's a
Tybalt...
me. Bye.
Yeah, Tybalt definitely sold that Bahamut orb earlier.
Tommy Bahamut.
And I don't blame him turning away her at this point.
Yeah, I think he's online enough that you don't take a Rydia if you don't already have one.
Yeah.
To be fair, she was at least adult Rydia.
Yeah, though she still starts at level 1.
Yeah.
And Rydia does take a significant experience investment to get her leveled up. And because we have slingshotting turned off, slingshotting being the mechanic where if a character is more than 5 levels below your median party level, they get double experience. Getting her caught up with the rest of the team is a bit of a slog at this point.
So that key was Luca, but was it on the second floor?
Yes? I'm not sure how Baron Castle floors work.
I know there's a basement.
That is true.
Well, Frankie going to go through his 2 free fights and get underground.
Yeah. While Tybalt is giving us a check of the Odin spot.
Odin spot left Thrasier.
No, that's more of an orb than a spot. Oh no.
That's not an orb. That's a noodle. That is the nope rope. And
the spicy danger noodle.
Baron Basement, not the most trivial of spots to be fighting it at.
But Tybalt definitely is feeling confident, getting a full complement of
Okay, bye,
Rocket's
Tella.
line, and just letting Tella get knocked down.
But he don't get up again.
Yeah, Cecil is
You
hitting.
take like 3 times your max health in one hit.
Yeah, Cecil and Kane are hitting for 4 digits of damage, so this fight is winnable. Especially because I think it's going to be another big wave soon. And there it goes.
Yep.
And there's your spoon.
There's the spoon. So, hopefully Frankie will go down to Baron.
Yeah, like, So was Ogopogo, like, eating soup or something, and the spoon just fell down? Like, I always find it weird when I find silverware in weird places and that I just do not remember eating.
I mean, sometimes you take your lunch somewhere and you forget to take your silverware out.
Right? And then you find it a few months later and you're like, what was I even doing?
Why is it moldy?
Right?
10k items is still an EXP boost.
Correct.
Also, thanks to Apex Corvid for the raid.
Frankie is knocking down Porum, definitely looking to use her as an anchor at this point.
Can't really blame him because he's got 2 white mages and a Tella.
Yeah. Is through the King-Queen spot and will be able to get some of those underground checks underway very soon.
So, if the Luca key doesn't, or if the check down here doesn't pay off for Tybalt, he doesn't even have to check who the boss is. Well, I guess...
It still could be Demist.
I was gonna say, he doesn't have to check it because he got the one boss objective. Then I was like, well, we haven't found Demist yet, so it could be Demist. So never mind. Don't listen to me.
Unfortunately, Frankie doesn't gamble on that top chest that we know has a cursed ring in it.
Oh, Earth Crystal. Okay. That's 2 character checks. And a treasury.
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely a keeper. Oh,
Speaking of free,
yeah.
though, if you let these imps get away from you, they can turn nasty fairly quickly. Luckily, that pair of coffins is probably going to make reasonably short work of them.
Yeah. Porum is like lying on the ground watching, or Palom is lying on the ground watching his teammates using life potions on the Dark Imps and just like, but I'm here.
Right?
Oh yeah, this does put Tybalt up to 10 key items. So,
Which is going to be nice. Doing a really good job of getting those life glitches off on these Dark Imps.
doesn't seem to be interested in picking up Palom, though.
Yeah, probably more interested in getting that experience on the physical fighters, as well as just getting through the fight.
But that was the EXP of 5 Dark Imps, then doubled. So, not bad.
Yeah. Frankie, seeing the bosses down here in the Fey March, decides, maybe later. And heads over to Tomra, probably going to give us the single most important check, which is that Job Dwarf is a home appliance repairman. This does absolutely nothing outside of make me happy.
Tybalt trying to rearrange his spells so he could have Tella up top with Warp up top, and he accidentally turned him into a toad.
No. Well, at least the old man didn't croak.
Well, he hasn't tried to use Meteor yet.
Yep.
Oh, did one of those lives not hit the right one?
Yeah. Still, it's what the kids call a barrel of experience points.
I don't think I've ever heard any kid use the word barrel in any context.
Not even in the context of Star Fox.
I don't think kids these days know what Star Fox is. And if they do, they know it from Smash.
Or the 3DS re-release.
Do you realize that that was like 10 years ago? You there?
Look. Look, I was not ready for Star Fox 64 3D to have come out in 2011. I think I need a minute. Yep. Okay. Back to the race. Frankie is doing the Sheila 1 check. Unfortunately, declined on doing Dwarf Castle, which we know is the pan, as well as the guards. I don't hate this play. In general, if you don't feel like you can take on the Dwarf Castle bosses, but the Rat Tail is a nice pickup. It's another key item. It does lead to the Sand Ruby, which we also know leads to everyone's favorite paladin.
Yeah, and that second Sheila item for returning the pan is that Baron Key, which leads to the spoon, which Frankie does still have Edward.
Yep. So there are a lot of plays still on the table for Frankie. And like...
Well, there's a twin.
Yeah. If Frankie decides to go check the Sand Ruby, which I 100% expect him to, given that he's still on the hunt for Fusoya, getting that Crystal Sword Cecil and getting that Crystal Sword Cecil rolling is going to potentially allow him to start trying to catch up.
Speaking of Cecil,
All right, so that's all 3 dupes we've seen, because we've had 2 Tellas, 2 Palums, and 2 Cecils.
so let's see. There's still the package character and the giant character. Is that all?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Oof.
So it's really a question of, 1, do you decide to gamble giant? Or 2, do you just say, I'm not going to worry about getting foo, I'm just going to go for key item clears, and if I get the package, I'll check it. And I'm not sure what the right call for Tybalt is here.
I mean, I have heard that everybody was kung fu fighting.
Yeah. Like, you do need a lot of key items here. As Sheep Launcher points out, because still looking for the harp, and
Right. I just giggled because the CPU was at the spot where they used the CPU sphere.
And we're also missing both halves of Forge right now.
Yeah.
Well, there's the package, so I think that's probably... We're going to get our answer on that front right away.
I think that's what Tybalt's going to be checking next.
Yeah, and at this point, Tybalt has seen every single character spot that we have. So he will have perfect information on where Fu is hiding. Which is right here.
Right here. Okay. So, not a hard required giant.
Yep. Well, at this point, it wouldn't be hard required anyway, unless it just happened to be Demonist up there.
Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, anyone order a mop?
I might have. That is a good question. If it wasn't Fu, would you still check for Demist?
No. Between the cutscenes, and everything, I would probably fade this check if it's not Fu for a little bit, because I haven't done anything on the moon yet. I haven't even touched the... Well, I mean, I know who's at the top of the tower, but I haven't done the moon yet. And given that I have access to the better part of the world, I would at least face check the entire moon before I would do this if this wasn't exactly Fu.
And for me, package, if it wasn't Fu, it would depend on what character it was, because given the state of what my party may or may not be, it may be a character worth just going to do the check to keep.
Yeah, definitely in general, I agree with you there. Depending on my party composition and how far I am into a seed.
Well, it's not Demist, so.
But in this very particular case with this, if I were to have checked that package with this party and everything that Tybalt has done, and it was not exactly the character I was looking for, I don't think I run it out yet.
So does Tybalt replace Palom or Tella?
That's a good question. Because there's also the third answer, which is Tybalt leaves the Fu behind.
I mean...
But nope, goes straight for the kid.
It's like, I guess that is an answer, but not one that you take when you have a Tella.
I mean, if I've got my party all the way online and I don't feel like... there are circumstances where you don't take a Tella, and it's where you like your party comp and you don't really want Tella's limited MP pool to be the hindrance you're dealing with. Let's see here. We're missing Edge, we're missing Yong,
And Sid.
and Sid.
One of them is on the Giant. We don't know who. We're not going to find out who, because neither of these runners are going to go to the Giant, I guarantee it.
Yeah, at this point, I imagine this will remain a mystery for the ages.
Unless you want to go back to the beginning and write down the hash for that seed and find out yourself.
Yep. Yeah, Frankie with the pan, going back, going to find that Baron Key very shortly, as well as the Ninja Hat down here in the Self Cave. So, Dijon.
Yes.
If you're Frankie, and you had a little bit of a rough time getting the ball rolling on the overworld. Like, this was a rough start. Frankie did a very good job getting going, but I can't imagine he's feeling like he's in the lead right now. The question is, do you risk it all and just... At what point do you feel like, okay, no, I just need to go to the moon and hope my opponent isn't here yet?
Well, first of all, if I'm getting like that risky, I'm going Keyless Tower before I go moon. Because I feel like that's more of a risk. And historically, every time I don't do Keyless Tower, it was what I needed to do. But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I believe the correct answer is I panic and then take 3 hours to finish the seed.
Fair. I'm just thinking, like, for me, if I was feeling behind in this situation, I know that I could, try and run down character checks. I haven't seen the Earth Rock yet. I just got the Baron Key. I could go do the Baron Castle check. Or I could just go and try and find the last couple of key items I need. And since the moon is such a key item dense place to check, I could see that as like a particular gamble that a runner might take to be like, no, I just need to go, and I need to gamble that my opponent is clearing out the overworld. Now, granted, given how early the Darkness Crystal was, Frankie could be going, I'm gambling my opponent went to the moon and got busted.
See, we found where curse rings are being sold.
Nice.
Baron. So, Frankie has one that you just had to pay for. My thing with the moon is I have a tendency to, like, hold off as much grinding as possible until I have 10 key items. Meaning I will try to, like, face plant the moon under-leveled. So it's...
Moon bosses count as a valid grind.
Yeah, so if you can get through the moon bosses, it's a decent grind. But if you're like me and trying to wait to do a, like, full grind...
Yeah. And you are starting to get up there in key items. Like, Frankie is at 7.
Yeah,
that is
like,
a magma key from Baigen.
Yeah, could get that from a much lower elevation, could you?
Right. Tybalt is now on the karate fight, which, as long as Cecil stays standing upright, is going to be over.
He's not taking any damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so karate has a script where, as long as he has used the kick attack twice, If a Paladin Cecil hits him, no matter where he is damage-wise, his script kicks in where he says "ouch" and self-destructs. Also, that's a tower key.
Yeah, so
I'm guessing Tybalt's next move is tower.
Yeah, because at that point, that's all Tybalt's got left out here on the blue planet, unless he gets the Twin Harp somewhere.
Which could very well be in the tower.
Yep. Anyway, on Frankie's side, Paladin Cecil with the Crystal Sword is getting zerked up against Mylon Z. Over-under on Mylon surviving this is not looking great for Mylon. There's the quad 9.
Yeah.
There's the Rydia on Frankie's side. Debating whether or not to get rid of the Porum.
They still have the Bahamut.
And decides against it, though that freshly minted Rydia would have been a fantastic anchor.
Yeah.
I don't hate keeping Porum, though.
Yeah. Frankie does now have that crystal ring, or not crystal, cursed ring he bought. So, 2 explosions at once.
Yep. I was looking away for a second because I'm just that cool.
Then there's gonna be that spoon. Oh no, it's not spoon. Luca spoons at the other one.
Yep. Frankie turning immediately around and going back in, which
makes sense at this point.
Yeah, he's got the power that the Odin spot is feasible.
Yeah, if you get Baron Key early enough, then yeah, it makes sense to leave and come back later for the second check. But at this point in the game,
I very much appreciate Tybalt completely disrespecting Antlion's counter and just going, nah, we're zerking the squad.
I mean, it's top of tower, and he's doing enough damage that he's got to finish off Antlion before Antlion can finish him off.
He's also got
enough
HP.
As, even if Antlion did manage to take out Kane.
That's a pass.
Yeah? Well, if he does have to go to the moon, for key items, he will have to come back to Earth. So,
yeah,
it's nice to have.
If you're Tybalt, after seeing that pass, you are hoping against all hope that the tower key spot is exactly the Twin Harp.
Yeah.
And Frankie takes down the Nope Noodle. Gets a few more levels on the team, and gets that spoon.
Which he ditched Eddie for Cecil, which, the correct play.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt he's heartbroken about it.
Yeah, gonna lock it out, especially for the XP and especially for the extra key item towards the 10 key item double XP boost.
Yeah, he's up to 9 now, so. And what do we get? An Avenger. Not a bad thing to have with a Crystal Sword Cecil, but it also puts you going to the moon.
Yeah, But Tybalt now knows that the moon is hard required.
Yeah, so he either needs the Twin Harp or Adamant and Legend Sword.
Yeah. Though the Avenger will allow both Cecil and Kane to go extremely burr.
And Frankie doing the sealed cave, which we know has Earth Crystal. Tybalt has done the Luca key. That was the Earth where he got the Earth Crystal.
Yep. Not the rock that's there in vanilla.
Wait, the rock was in this game?
Yeah, who do you think was playing Yang?
He would have been like 10. Actually, no, he probably would have been older than that. I don't know. Time is a construct.
Exactly.
Looked like a Dr. Luggage, I think it was, that Tybalt peaked there.
Yep. Dr. Dialogue. Let's go.
I mean, if there was like an American-made Final Fantasy IV movie, The Rock would totally be Yang.
Frankie sees that it's the Earth Crystal, probably heaves a bit of a sigh as he realizes that, yes, in fact, he needs to take it out with him. Probably very happy to see these Darkhams, though.
My cat is screaming from the other room.
Mood.
The Rock plays everyone, even the children. Now I'm just imagining like 2 children playing Palamemporum with The Rock's head superimposed onto their bodies.
Oh no, that's so cursed.
So
I
thanks,
love it.
Thanks, Scala.
Look, can you smell what Sheila's cooking?
I'm pretty sure it was a key item of some sort.
From what? Sorry? Oh yeah, Sheila was cooking up a key at least. And didn't she also have the rat tail?
Yeah, the rat tail was the first one. The second one was the Baron key. That's right.
Value Cave was a blank.
An apple a day keeps literally every racer away.
Right? But now we're going down into everyone's favorite Haunted Moon sections. Tybalt going for a top-down approach.
Yeah.
I kind of like this because it allows him to gamble on finding exactly the Twin Harp here at Odin.
I usually do top-down myself. I don't know. It feels correct.
Yeah, no, like there's no real wrong way of approaching your moon routing in terms of which bosses you go to first. I personally am a fan of going straight for the ribbon room if I'm looking for key items, because that's a 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah,
Plus
that's
it
what
puts you.
That's what I'll do after this spot.
Yeah. Plus it puts you very close to 2 other checks.
Yeah.
But starting with this one is definitely a play that could get someone like me if because I usually save that one for last.
Yeah. Plus, like, at that altar, if you get something that you don't want, you can easily save some time by resetting and then just going straight back in and going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Tybalt wants to keep that white shirt, though.
Indeed. And at this point, looks like Frankie is ready for some omelets of his own. Cracks an egg, gets that 68k XP.
Not knocking Tella down, though, so...
He's got the cursed ring down, so no real reason to worry.
So it's not a big worry.
Yeah, does have Cure 4 on Rosa now, which is super nice.
Definitely helpful. Especially in the final fight when everyone takes a lot of damage at once.
Yep.
Oh, Tybalt taking a left instead of going towards the ribbon room.
Yeah. Looks like going for the Crystal Sword altar first, going all the way top to bottom. Once again, I don't hate it.
Tybalt's inventory is completely full, though, so he's going to need to get rid of some stuff.
Or just, well, looks like there's room to stack things a little bit. But,
well, that's not difficult at this spot, but takes forever.
Yes.
Because Golbez doesn't really do a whole lot of damage with his spells at this point because of the low magic. But that also means you can't just, like, purely use Reflect. You have to actually, like, fight him.
Which, with the Avenger, with the Crystal Sword and whatnot, is not the... This is not the worst setup for that. However...
You're gonna have to bring him back up, though, because, of course, the first one he went for was Cecil, and then second was his other Berserker.
Yeah, and of course, you do have to deal with the evil villain monologue.
Yeah. But yeah, like 500 damage per attack on people with over 2,000 max HP.
Yeah. That fire did like 100 to Cecil, who is swinging for that sweet quad nines.
And there's the why.
Vern. Alter.
Vern. Oh.
And...
okay, well, I guess Tybalt didn't miss anything by skipping that shop. Also, boo, more Bahamut. Gonna keep going, I guess. Well,
yeah.
I mean, the save point was right there, so may as well keep that experience.
Yeah. So at this point, looks like Frankie is going to Zot, which, again, is a very solid choice because he is looking for 2 more characters. Or he's looking for Fusoya still, and Zot is the plurality of the character pool at this point.
Unfortunately, not going to find him here, but
Yeah.
we're kind of in the know.
Yeah, we are blessed with a certain amount of foreknowledge. Ooh, that's an elements.
Yeah, that's for one. You're going to get a lot of damage on that first hit because of Mylon Z.
Yep.
Yeah, elements with a party this leveled up, not too bad in this spot.
Yeah, not going to get the HP refill skip, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's gonna go fast enough that you really don't need to.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It would probably taken more time to set up for that than to just rampage on through it. And then quad 9s again on Val.
Yep, because Val, due to reasons, does have that holy weakness.
Hey, you like crystal swords?
Hey, you know what?
Should have taken that second Cecil.
Right? Holy heck. Can you imagine?
I'm using, like, will to, like, telepathically communicate to Frankie to keep that second Cecil.
Next boss. Oh, that's Wyvern.
Okay, well, yeah, depending
What?
on how fast you go,
And depending on how hard,
that's not.
That's brutal.
Probably don't need to go all the way down to Wyvern standard time, but
Better safe than sorry, I guess.
yeah. I probably didn't need to reset that one. Cecil only took 2200. Of course, Tybalt probably trying to spend as little time on this as possible because, for all he knows, Frankie could be right behind him.
Yeah, like, if Frankie had gotten through that early fight to get Kane, this could be a very different story right now. That wipe was cost more than just the time it took to attempt it. It put, like, if Frankie had gotten that Kane early, so much of that the early game rudeness that he was dealing with just vanishes.
Yeah. Not to mention that Frankie attempted Baron in well before Tybalt did. So if Frankie had been able to get it on the first try, he would probably be ahead right now.
Yeah, I would have to go back and count the damage left on the Pale Dim fight at the end there, but I'm willing to bet that Frankie was very close to winning there. Ooh, Tybalt gets through only to find a strength ring here.
Not great, but again, right next to the save room, doesn't make sense to reset. And Frankie gonna get his foo.
We're running out of key item checks.
Yep, there's just this last one. So it's gotta be Twin Harp here or something.
Well, there is a possibility.
Demist. Yeah.
And this is Mylon and Friends. So
Oh no.
D-Mist is on the giant.
Oh no, if this is one of the pieces of the forge.
Yeah, if this isn't exactly the Twin Harp.
Actually, it has to be the Twin Harp because I don't think. Well, no. I'm thinking.
D-Mist could have the Twin Harp.
Yeah.
It has to be. It cannot be a whammy at this point because we only have this D-Mist and the Twin Harp spots left to check.
Yeah, right. Because D-Mist could be on the giant, so
Yeah.
D-Mist could be guarding one of the pieces.
Yeah, D-Mist could be on the giant with the Twin Harp, with the other half of the
Yes.
forge.
Okay, yeah. That's how that math works out.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see a hard required giant?
I hope so. I hope we get the ultimate troll here.
I do too, if only because I want someone else to have to suffer what I did week 1.
Yeah, and also, if this does not turn out to be exactly the Twin Harp, if Frankie has like the gumption to be like, no, I'm going to go for the ultra risk play of going. Oh well, it is the Twin Harp, so
Dang it.
unfortunately, D-Mist is going to have half of the forge.
Yeah, so D-Mist has half of it on the giant, and the other half is being guarded by... Actually, D-Mist could be in the Twin Harp Cave.
Yeah, D-Mist could be at Harp or at the giant. Either of those locations are still possible. Guarding half the forge, and the Cave Magnes item is the other half.
But either way, Tybalt needs one objective. He literally only has one place he can go, and that's that objective. That he just got the key item that lets him do it.
Yeah. So... And then after that, it's just a matter of running straight back to Troya Town and turning in that pass.
The Seed decided to give Smake D Little a sleep as a treat.
Yep. Looks like Frankie is coming back down to attempt Keyless Tower.
Final boss, Chocobo.
Right? Which, given that he hasn't gone back to do the Famarch fights yet, this is not the worst call.
Yeah.
Especially because you know it's Antlion up there, and you know with your levels and abilities, you can probably just Frankie's probably going to go, okay, no, I'm just going to disrespect that Antlion. Yeah, Frankie is unfortunately got off to a bit of a slower start getting the snowball going for the Seed. A little bit slower, and is basically doing things in about the same order that Tybalt did. And Tybalt very much last locationed the items. But again, unfortunately, Frankie got underground just about the same amount of time that he's behind right now. So honestly, I think the difference maker this Seed came almost 100% down to the unfortunate wipe to Pale Dim earlier. Not that, this race is over, but also I should be quiet. We've got music incoming.
I hope it's a new one.
Tybalt finding the mother of all bombs down here.
Meaning demist for sure in the giant.
Yep. Gets a legend sword, which means demist in the giant with the adamant rock. I'm calling it. Open up the envelope. I'm going to win this game of Clue.
All right. And at 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 35 seconds, that puts you last place on the Clue leaderboard.
Heck yes. Also, gosh dang, now I really want FF4 themed Clue. Frankie goes up to the top of the tower, does get the pass for his trouble, which you always love to see when you have to go up to the giant to get the last few key items you need for your objective.
When you have to go up to the giant?
Yeah, the giant ball of rock in the sky. You know, that giant.
Ah.
Anyway, there's some flags in chat. Do you know what country that is? I don't recognize it.
It's Switzerland.
Ah, got it. I hear their primary export is butts to kick.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. So, for those of you who don't know, Zeromus, final boss. You may have noticed we shuffle all of the other bosses around, but we keep the big bad Z here in the final boss chambers, because he's just that rough. But, like, we don't randomize his script or anything. We don't randomize his HP. We instead, well, I say we. Scala-Kitty instead has given him a number of lovely versions that he could be. So, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
Wonder if there's one that's like an actual butt.
I mean, I would argue that the yellow demon is maybe not necessarily a butt, but definitely a jerk.
You hyped up Scala, and I think that's one that Board put in there.
No, Scala in the chat confirming that very fact.
Yep. But your average Z fight generally shorter than your average Yellow Devil fight, unless you're talking about Mega Man 1, in which case you just keep pausing and unpausing.
Yep. Got the Silk Web off. Fu took the counter nuke to the face, but with Cecil and Kane already berserked up, doing 9 to 10k per round of combat, this is going to be over fairly quickly.
And raid from Spoonie. Yay.
Yay!
Just in time to see a butt get kicked.
Yep. And just in time to see whether or not Frankie decides to go for demi-strats and go for the Wyvern Altar, or decides to go all the way down to the bottom of the lunar subterrane, where we know that the Masamune Altar holds the final key of progression.
Yeah, so Tybalt's pretty much just doing this in Ronco mode.
Yeah, this is...
What's Ronco mode, you ask? You said it, and forget it.
Yeah, this is a fairly by-the-books Zeromus fight. Sorry, this was a fairly by-the-books Zeromus fight, as Tybalt has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 25 seconds.
That is a GG right there.
We'll see about getting Tybalt in here for an interview shortly. In the meantime, Frankie is taking on the elements.
And I believe we have him in here now.
Hello, Tybalt, and congratulations on your win.
GG.
Hey, GG.
So, obviously, the first question we have to ask you is, on that last fight on the moon, how much were you praying that that was the twin harp?
I was praying pretty hard that it was Twin Harp. I was going through my mind going, wait a minute. I haven't seen Demist at all. Please be Twin Harp. I don't want Demist on the giant to have Twin Harp.
Yeah, I have another question, though. So, given that you had a, let's say, less than optimal opening party, what was going through your thoughts throughout the early game as you were like, okay, how do I get this party off the ground and into action?
I really needed something for Rosa. And generally with that type of party, you want a lot of J items like Gaia drums or big bombs, which I wasn't finding any of that really. And once I saw Knaus, I'm like, well, okay. I need ice arrows or lit arrows. I need Thor rages. Where did I see those again? Because that was a rough start. And then once you got underground, you got your food. It was just. Whew.
Yeah, and like both you and Frankie threw like a lot of your J items at the turtle, only to find dancing dolls at the back attack spot, and I can't imagine that was a good feeling.
Oh no, it was not like I could have used my Thor Rage, or not Thor Rage, my Gaia Drum here. Would have been so much nicer.
Yeah. And the Thor Rages were, like, doing barely anything.
Oh yeah, after a while I was just, I'm just gonna have Porum use the Thor Rages. It does AoE damage to everybody, and I could probably damage them all down around the same time, while Rosa, the strong one, is able to take out the ones in the back because the blue ones have more health.
Yeah. Frankie, unfortunately, took a little bit longer to get his snowball rolling and got underground about, I want to say, like 20 minutes behind you. Maybe closer to 10.
Once I saw... Go ahead.
Yeah, the big difference that could have happened was he tried to go for that cane a lot earlier than you did and dropped a good amount of time into taking that pale dim with a party that had only gone through the Fabula fight.
Yeah,
It was on that fight for a good, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Just one attempt.
Yeah, he really wanted it, and, like, if he had gotten that, I honestly don't know how this race would have changed, because, with that starting gear for the cane, that would have really sped up his overworld incredibly.
Oh yeah, completely. It was like I didn't think I'd be able to get to the second spot there because it hit so hard. And once I saw the heroine rope, I'm like, cool. I can actually possibly do that second fight just because it hit so hard.
Yeah.
And
like, he was doing some really, really solid attrition using the starter kit Cure 2s to keep Rosa alive as she threw out damage. He just got an unlucky big hit for like 125.
Like me with the Dark Knight at Fabul, just kept getting the high rolls on Rosa.
Exactly. Yeah, that early DKC was rough.
Oh, the entire beginning of the seed, you had Valid Antlion, which you're not going to do much there because of the high defense she has when she's spinning. You've got DKC sitting at Fabul. You've got Kenazo at Ordeals. You've got Dark Elf at Mist Cave, but that's not much experience.
The game started with 2 white pages.
Yeah, and you've got Ruby taking a shower in the waterfall, but again, that's also not super a lot of experience.
No. Usually it's you want to do Hobbs first to get your party off the ground with the 5k experience that's there.
But, you know, like, that's still just an Edward.
Yeah. And I'm like, nope, I'm good. I don't need him.
Yeah. Right as you were going through the moon, I noticed you went top to bottom. Was there a particular strategy behind that? Was there something you were looking for?
At that particular point, I just needed 1 key item out of 3. And I know the numbers are down below, but I'm thinking, okay, well, I've always gone bottom up, and that usually tends to bite me, so I'll go top down. And then I got to Luge. Well, nobody wants to do Luge. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Nothing. Nobody wants to do Golbez. Nope. Where is this twin harp?
Yeah. And, like, luckily at the end of the day, it was down there on, you know, the Masamune altar, but Frankie is doing effectively the same routing you are on the moon right now, just deciding to forego the Wyvern altar for now. Just took out Mylon and friends and is going to be rewarded with his twin harp.
I'm actually thinking about it. Actually, twin harp had to be somewhere because Demas can only get 1 item.
Demas could have had the twin harp, which could have had the other piece of the forge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, I guess the other question is, both you and Frankie put off going up to the moon as long as possible. Was there a reason you wanted to go for the full Earth clear, or was it just like doing particular things as you were going?
It was just doing particular things as I was going. I had the Cecil online with the Crystal Sword. I'm like, okay, well, that's half a Fey March free. I should be able to take out Byagan. Well, that completes those 2 fights. I just happened to get Tower Key, and I'm like, okay, I've got easy levels. Antlion's not going to be a problem, and I can full clear Tower, and then it's straight up to the moon from there. Hoping that, you know, 2 items were down at Fey March, or even the 2 items were at the Tower of Babel. Fortunately not, but that's what I was hoping for. And I was prioritizing character checks over anything as well to try and find the Fu. At that point, my character checks were Package, Zot, and Giant. So I really didn't want to do Giant. That vanilla Giant, I think, is probably one of the more interesting flags that have been added to Free Enterprise. It really makes you think hard whether or not you want to go into the Giant, because once you're there, you're stuck.
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, in this particular flag set, you know, you might have gone in, seen the demist at the element spot, who knows what's at CPU spot, only to get rewarded with half of Forge, which the other half is behind the moon check.
Yeah, I can't figure out. The only two bosses I didn't see were Demist and Gauntlet. Yet I know there's one more I didn't see. Otherwise, I saw every other boss.
Right. Yeah, I guess any last minute thoughts on this seed or any advice for players like me who might have been a little intimidated by how rough the start was?
Probably the one thing I probably should have done is probably checked a few more item shops for vampires. Vampires are probably your best friend, especially going up Zot. And if I would have, I think they may have been in Aggro because it's one shop I didn't check. Vampires do anywhere from 400 to 800 damage per usage, and that can get you through ordeals pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Or even getting some, or as another person does, they buy bombs as the J item, and then do a little bit of grinding on ordeals to get through that. There's different strategies, but I think vampires is probably more expensive, but a little bit faster. Well, thank you for restreaming this late night race. Wasn't exactly expecting it, but thank you, Deshaun and Leggy, for commentating, Sheep for tracking, and Spaghetti for the restream. You rolled a wonderful seed today.
Yeah, and thank you for putting on a good show. And once again, congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
GG.
GG.
As a sheep pointing out, we didn't see Demist, Gauntlet, or Magus Sisters. So obviously Demist had to be one of those two on the giant. So and Frankie defeated his Bomb and completing his final objective.
Yep. Going to get out of the cave and then once again give the Yellow Devil what for. So we'll see. What I have to presume is going to be a fairly straightforward Z fight, just like we saw previously. We have two boys who will get very, very angry and do a lot of stabby on the big bad Zeromus. Frankie throwing that curse ring onto the Fusoya to take Fu's, I believe it's 20 agility at level 55 down to a 5.
Yeah, Fu has like a standard 20, so.
Yeah, it does not change over the course of the seed, right?
Yeah. Or it might be like with everything that powers up. I forget.
Yeah.
I've never really paid attention to his speed until after he's already fully powered up, so.
Yeah. And we're about to see another butt kicking.
Heck yeah. Second verse, same as the first.
Whole lot louder and a whole lot worse.
Well, I hope it's not worse.
I mean, I hope it's worse for Zeromus.
Ha.
Erg.
Thank you, end credits of every Joss Whedon show.
Gosh. Ooh, we're going for the triple Zerk play. Try Zerk? Gladly.
Try attack.
There is no attack, there is only fight.
I'm guessing Frankie didn't have any silk webs because Horum was casting slow.
Yeah, but luckily Fu's right there to heal up Cecil from the counter nuke. Though with the nerf, I 100% believe that Cecil is in no danger of dying here. Yeah, that's the good stuff.
You know, I think Frankie still has his speed, like, really low from Wyvern.
This seems about right.
I don't know. It seemed like it took a really long time for Fu to cast that Cure 4, but maybe on...
Well, you have to... I mean, you do have the Zerkers Q jamming.
That's true. I'm also just tired.
That is also true. This has been a heck of a seed. And
yeah.
Both of these runners really demonstrated not just really strong free enterprise skills, but also just an incredible amount of gumption in being able to get through this seed to begin with. So please, please, please give both of these runners a follow.
That Zeromus really hates Cecil, though.
Look, if someone came after me with a crystal sword, I'd probably have similar feelings. Going for a little damage augmentation with a few nukes and a Q to white from Porum.
Always a good thing to do when you're just waiting for your Zerkers to Zerk and you don't have any heals you gotta do.
Yeah. That white cast taking out Zeromus with an official time of 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 42 seconds. GG, Frankie Bones. Let's see if he'll get in here soon enough for an interview. And we're joined by frankiebones. GG's on that finish.
GG.
Thank you.
So, I guess we'll start with the question of overall impressions of the seed.
Early game was a disaster.
Yeah, I do not wish that start on anyone.
I think I was fighting Kenazo, and I didn't want to use the Gaia drum because I thought it might be useful in the next back attack slot. And as soon as I saw Calbrina, I knew that was a mistake, but I didn't want to get caught in the restore shell, disaster. So, just try my best to get through it.
Yeah, so how close do you think you were in taking out Pale Dim on that first run?
I actually don't know. I was attempting to look up HP values while I was fighting. I knew it was way too long. I thought I was close. But I just ran out of time.
Yeah, I don't know the numbers either offhand, but I felt like you were super close too. And in the universe where that gamble pays off, this race is just so much closer. And honestly, I think you had it. You just got high rolled by that last hit.
Yeah, I think I put a Cure 2 in, and I think it was just 20 or 10 over. I know Rosa had the glass hat on, so it was close. It was very close.
Yeah, it was like just the highest roll I had seen from that spot yet.
Yeah, so at that point I just bailed, tried to find somewhere else, ran into Calbrina, and knew I needed another J item at that point. I think I went to Evelyn to look for one, hoping there was one there. I think I got a blizzard or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, had that paid off, or had, a few more things gone your way, you were neck and neck with Tybalt for the rest of the seed, adjusted by, how long it took you to get off the ground. So, like,
Yeah.
This was fundamentally a very close race.
Yeah. I mean, even with... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, even with the, it was probably like 5 to 10 minutes you spent just on that one Paladin fight. Like, y'all are still a good less than 20 minutes apart.
Well, I feel good about that. I figured I was behind once I'd finished checking Earth. I think I had Keyless Tower left, so I figured I'd go check that and just hope that there was a harp there or something to get me back into it. But I knew the Pale Dim fight got me behind, and I was just trying to catch up from that point.
And you did a really strong job. Unfortunately, once you got underground, there's so many spots. Like, this seed has the god route of, once you get underground, you just go clear Dwarf Castle. You go and I forget what chain led to the package.
It was through Earth, I believe.
Yeah, which was through the Luca Key.
Luca Key, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then you just go straight up to the moon and you dive the Ogopogo altar. If you have, like, the complete foreknowledge of the seed. But both you and Tybalt, definitely dove down, like, every single rabbit hole, because, like, what else are you gonna do? It's always the right. It's like always seems like the right play at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, I just wanted to stick to the Earth checks because I felt behind, and I thought with the early darkness, maybe Tybalt was gonna go up there. The key item situation, I think, I got 10 key items pretty late. So I thought maybe he went to the moon first. So if I could sneak something on Earth, which was really just a harp at that point, maybe I could get back into it.
Yeah, he did a very thorough run of the Blue Planet.
Yeah, so we basically did the same.
Yeah. How did you feel when you were going into the Masamune altar fight, the Mylon and friends, knowing that you were rapidly running out of locations for key items to be?
Not great. I started top down, and I abandoned that. I think I got a white shirt, and then I said, well, I need 3 key items at this point, so I'm going to go to the density on the at the bottom. And then I laughed when I got the second crystal sword and ditched the Cecil at the Tower of Zod. I thought that was...
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
That was the seed deciding to have a little joke, play a little smiler on you.
Yeah, I thought that was... I also really enjoyed, taking the hairdryer chest to get levels and the hook route being 100% free.
Yeah.
I also really like that. I saw King Queen at Rubicon, but I was worried about the way the seed was going. I was worried about the actual King Queen spot, but that ended up being Water Hag. So a lot of laughable points in the seed. But yeah,
one nice thing the seed did for y'all.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, Mylon was fine. I mean, at that point, I just figured I'd Quake and Zerk up Crystal Sword Cecil and let him do his thing. So
yeah,
I was just hoping it was Twin Harp. I didn't want to go chase the Forge. Is really what I was thinking.
Yeah. So obviously, you saw one half of the Forge at the Cave Magnes. The other half of Forge, by the time Tybalt got there, we determined had to be with D-Mist on the Giant.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't make it there.
Yeah.
We were kind of like, on Tybalt's side, it was like the last check he had was the altar that had the Twin Harp, and we were just sitting on the edge of our seat waiting to see if it was the Twin Harp or one of the pieces of the Forge, and if that D-Mist at the Giant was required.
Whew. That would have been fun. I'm not gonna lie. That would have been fitting. I think is probably for this seed.
So I'm sure it's incredibly late for you. It's incredibly late for me. Do you have any last minute thoughts that you'd like to share before we find someone to send the party on over to?
Just thank you to commentators. Thank you to the restream. Thank you to the community. Everybody's great. I love this game. It's so fun. I'm just glad everybody could watch me play. Last thought is Yellowmus. I love Yellowmus. I love Mega Man games, and watching Yellowmus shake looked exact. I thought I was going to have to jump Yellowmus blocks as he comes near you in Mega Man 2. That's all I can think about.
Well, for better or worse, press B to jump is not enabled in this flag set.
Could have made main jump though.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, but I decided to just Zerk him up instead and just be done with it.
Anyway, GG's again on finishing that I have so many words that I want to say to describe this seed but I will let them simmer.
I'll probably watch the VOD back and see how those words will probably come out. But thank you, everyone.
Of course. Have a great evening, and I look forward to seeing what you do next week.
Thank you.
And with that, friends, the Lali-Ho League has finished our last restreamed race of the evening. So we're going to send you all on over to Oscar 424, who is doing some free enterprise tonight. I'm pretty sure it's Lali-Ho League practice. As always, do not spoil this race for her or her viewers.
Do not do it. We will find you.
Hype it up, but do not spoil it.
We know where you live.
We don't know that, Dishon. We don't have that information.
Well, I know where you live.
You know where I live, yes. You have been here before.
Okay.
But... Oh, we're clear. No worries, no worries. Yeah. No,